Hello, and welcome. Today I want to go over the topic of Rollo, Godfather of the Red Pill, part of the Manosphere, part of the Manosphere, creator of the Rational Male book series, Christian, father, and husband. I actually want to go over a specific thing that is claimed within his VODs or posts, that be that he is Christian, and how his belief goes completely in the other direction with a lot of what he has to spew on the internet. My first clip would be of this statement of Christian, which, I'll be honest, it isn't a perfect sample of him saying that he is Christian, but I have it on good authority to tie that post with his beliefs in how it is stated. And also how the further clips that I have also more or less go over this same statement of him claiming to be Christian, or at least believing in it. I don't know if he actually is, but whatever.
As a father with a daughter, it's really surprising how much he encourages men to rack up women's body counts, considering that this could be his daughter that some guy does this to.
Now, that is the part of me saying it's not a perfect sample. So I'm gonna actually move on to the other part of the clip, which demonstrates a not-so-Christian idea of how men should act within a relationship, or within that dynamic.
Want to read. I've been doing this for 20 freaking years.
And just like those other red pill guys, he also likes to promote non-committal relationships as well as hookup culture.
And you better take care of your kids, Buster, because that's what a real man does. You better look like this guy on the right side right there. That's your responsibility. That's why men exist. This is your purpose for being, right? You know what's funny? I can make the case for both of these. Your purpose for being is to have a commitment to yourself like Dan Bilzerian, to be the best version of yourself for yourself versus the best version of yourself to save the West, to please God, to please your wife. Because if mama ain't happy, God ain't happy.
This is something that he says that I directly disagree with, as how in the having casual sex with random women who you have on a yacht, something that is materialistic, might I add, in any way for God. That dude on the left isn't having children with any of those women. He's having casual sex without the commitment or of children or marriage, or in better terms, he's living what would be called a selfish lifestyle, or a me type of life, without the potential consequences of being in a relationship and having responsibility. The dude on the right is living a more godly life, as he has children, many in fact, with one woman, ergo, they are in a relationship. And if we're using the context of Christianity as a smoking gun, then they have a more Christ-like lifestyle than the dude on the left. They, the couple, are living a life within the confines of a marriage, something that requires commitment without selfishness, which is something that the yacht dude can't be living, as most of their lifestyle requires a selfish attitude. Also in that clip, he says that your purpose for being is to be committed to yourself, when in fact, throughout the Bible, it is told that your purpose in life is to serve God, which, unlike the other idea of committing yourself to yourself, this would require selflessness. Let me pronounce that better. Selflessness instead of selfishness. Finally, the closing statement on this clip, your purpose for being isn't to live a life of selfishness, but one of selflessness. So how can a Christian man such as Rollo perhaps suggest a life of selfishness instead of living for a greater reason than just yourself? Your purpose is to have children to then continue serving God even after your eventual removal. But when the argument is, well, what about the women and men who cannot have children? To which I state the latter is still held truthfully in that your purpose is to serve God, or better yet, I shall quote, after creating Adam and Eve, God commanded that they be fruitful or have children. The original design included families and children. I got this from the website World Vision. I have no idea if it's a reputable source, and I don't care to look it up. And to use that quote, I might add that having a yacht with uncommitted sex with random people isn't being fruitful to serving God, but instead no one else other than yourself. And on to the other clip I had. The context to this clip is that Rollo is defending a quote-unquote good friend, or Donovan, to whom had dragged a random woman who is affiliated with Preach, but not in a romantic sense, who was suspected for being Preach's wife for being a quote, fat ass. And now we shall roll the clip.
He made false assumption about my wife and dragged a whole person that has nothing to do romantically with me and dragged that person on a 5-hour live.
Preach, your wife is a fat ass. I'm gonna say that one more time. Preach, your wife is a fat ass.
And now you're mad because we exposed some shit that he said?
That is true.
But you cannot see what the fuck he did? But you're like, nah, yeah, he did whatever he did, whatever. You go over that. When the person went on the web and slander a person that had nothing to do with anything.
Hey, listen.
How does that work in your mind? How are you calling yourself rational and that is the situation and you're like, nah.
And you're defending it.
How, bro? And to continue with the topic of him being, quote, Christian, or at least believing in God, how can he defend a man who goes out of his way to call someone whom he deems to be Preacher's wife a fucking fat ass with no reason behind doing so? There's absolutely no reason for Donovan to do that or say that, with little evidence of that person being Preach's wife. I feel that him doing that was really uncalled for, as Donovan had decided to attack Preach, more or less behind his back, metaphorically, as his wife, quote-unquote wife, had no quarrel in this beef to begin with, yet was dragged through the mud with little notice and for nothing to begin with. So once again, I say I don't understand how a Christian can somehow overlook all of that and decide to defend his quote-unquote good friend. I personally wouldn't have allowed that behavior if I had found it within my own group. I don't care who they is. Just don't go attack someone off who their wife is. You just don't do that if you have proper morals, to which I don't think that Rollo has very good morals to begin with. Going by how he is trying to defend Donovan's unruly statement against someone's supposed wife. Now I shall show you the other part of that clip, which I had.
I'll easily defend Donovan. How can a man be a crook when his work actually saves lives more than what his haters ever have to say? You know what?
Tell these bitches to go to hell.
Yeah, and Abba and Preach are the bitches to tell to go to hell because they are shills. Openly, blatantly, obviously. They got shit all over their face, shills of Anthony Johnson. Because all that stuff has been out for ages, guys. You're not revealing anything new, and you look like idiots for doing it. In fact, you look worse than idiots. You look like shills. You look like it was fast money. You don't even know who he is. You probably have no earthly, you know who I am, you don't know who he is, you don't know who anybody in this sphere is whatsoever, but you're happy to take that fucking money and run with it. It's a paid, it's product placement. It's like getting that email in your emails. Hey, we really love your channel. We'd love for you to promote our new game, Warriors of Chaos, for $1,700 for a 30-second spot. That's you. And except that's your whole fucking show. Oh, let's see. Was it Excel Plus VPN? $1,700 for a 30-second plug. That's fucking you. That's you. And you know, in this case, it just happened to be, oh, hey, can you do about a 20-minute hit piece on Don and Sharp? I'll give you $1,200. Are you guys that hard up for money? Because I'll give you $1,200 to go and do I'll give you $1,300 to go do a hit piece on fucking Anthony Johnson. You probably take the money too.
I'm not gonna lie, yo. Anybody want to pay me 20 grand to do a hit piece on this dude? I'll do 3 of them. Y'all give me 20 grand, I'll do 3. I'll do whatever. Hey, listen. Apparently, I'm paid about 4, so I might as well make some money.
Now, for this, I want to first define the statement of shill, as Rollo seems so esteemed in knowing what it means. So therefore, I must define it to my own audience who might not understand what it means. I'm going to use a Merriam-Webster definition. It is stated by Merriam-Webster as to act as a shill and to act as a spokesperson or promoter. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, which is very possible, but doesn't Rollo's trying to discredit Abba and Preach seem as if he's trying to promote Donovan as a better person for not being a shill, or even make Rollo seem as like a spokesperson for why Abbott and Preach are wrong and shouldn't be listened to in order to discredit them. Just seems a little bit weird. I feel like Rollo needs to do some self-reflecting on his favorite word of shill. Anywho, that is mainly all I wanted to talk about through this. I just had a few more closing statements, and then from there I will, I guess, put it together. Anywho. So, I think what I want to get across in this video is to not take what this man says at face value. He cannot be trusted, as what he says and does goes directly against his own beliefs, both religiously and personally, as I doubt that he would want his own daughter to be verbally attacked by a random person on the internet who is just trying to hurt Rollo himself, or for his daughter to be treated upon by the dude in the left photo on the yacht while having meaningless sex with random people. I, in fact, would go as far to say that Rollo would dislike that his daughter is being used as this random object for the sole purpose of sexual pleasure, for someone who truly does not care for them or their well-being. I also find him claiming to be Christian to be damning for how he treats women who he himself doesn't know, as earlier he claimed that he can make a claim for both dudes in those photos, to which, might I remind, one of them is a very selfish lifestyle, while the other is a very selfless lifestyle. Now, going back, he says that he can make a claim for both, which I find interesting, as I would like to know what his own thoughts would be if his daughter was involved in what was happening on the left photo. But woe is me, my daughter would never do something so un-Christ-like. Therefore, I don't care. But the men, yeah, I can make a claim for the lifestyle being good. And once again, women are forgotten in the equation, else they're having sex that isn't with a partner. Then the women are wrong. Heaven forbid that the left photo is bad for the women and men. But no, go live your purpose, King. Anywho, thanks for listening to my ideas on this dude. I think his values are weird and not strong when put into practice, but who am I to judge someone else? And please comment if you prefer a scripted video over a candid video. This entire video is more or less scripted, and I want to get your feedback on this style. And until next time, have a good one.